The 2018 Audi 5 rupees. The second-generation Audi A5 was introduced in June of 2016 as a 2017 model with a fresh look and updated technology. As the cards usually play over at Audi, it didn't take long for the brand to finish updating the high-performance 5 rupees, and we got to see it in all its glory at the 2017 Geneva Auto Show. It boasts an all-new look that is more aggressive than ever with more defined lines, wider flaring of the fenders and rear quarters, updated technology, new materials inside, and, more important to most, an all-new 2.9-liter Biturbo V6 that delivers a cool 450 horsepower and 442.5 pound-feet of payment decimating torque that's sure to make your inner manhood squeal like a little girl on Christmas. Of course, that's the same horsepower figure of the outgoing model, but a serious increase of torque to the tune of 125.5 pound-feet. So, what does all that mean for performance? Well, the new 5 rupees can hit the 62 miles per hour sprint in as little as 3.9 seconds, an improvement of 0.3 seconds over the outgoing model, and it breaks even in top speed at 174 miles per hour. That's not bad, but if you want to feel upset about no increase in horsepower, you might want to take into consideration that this 5 rupees has a much smaller engine compared to the 4.2-liter V8 that was found in the last-gen model. But, the 5 rupees really is about more than just engine specs and performance numbers, so let's dive on in and take a look at the whole picture before this bad boy makes it into dealer showrooms later this year. Update: the 12th of March 2018, Audi has decided to sell the 5 rupees in the United States, and it has a significantly lower price than expected. Check out the details in the pricing section below. Exterior. As I mentioned before, the new 5 rupees had a serious influx in aggressiveness injected into its DNA. Up front, Audi's latest grille design that is shorter and wider, and more geometrically sound, defines the nose. The headlights have grown a bit in width and height, and now feature a bright LED strip that dominates the top of the lens. Down below, the fake corner inlets have been redesigned as smaller units that are more recessed than before, while the central insert that runs along the bottom of the grille encompasses the bottom of the corners before shooting upward at a 90-degree angle to add more character. There's still some silver trim up front around the grille and below the air dam, but it's much smaller and less gaudy than before. Finally, the hood ties the whole front end together with sharper lines that help to accentuate the stout curve of the hood itself. The new 5 rupees had a serious influx in aggressiveness injected into its DNA. Moving over to the side profile, and it's more of the same story. The same bodyline that resides below the waist carries over from the last-gen model, but it too is sharper and has a mild bend at the flares of the rear quarters. The lower body line has been dropped down to the side skirt and is closer to parallel with the waistline than before. A trim insert at the bottom of this bodyline matches the trim from the front fascia and adds a bit of contrast to the sides. The rear wheel arches are more muscular than ever, thanks to the flaring effect that helps remind you that the new 5 rupees is just a bit wider. To the rear, Audi paid a lot of attention to what it was doing, and the design back here is clear proof of exactly that. The new taillights are sleeker but aggressive at the same time, protruding from the rear just a bit. The rear deck has been redesigned with more rounded edges while the rear fascia now has a lot more character than before. The little fin on top of the rear deck is finished in black like the trim on the sides and up front, giving the car as a whole just the right amount of contrast. Down below, a new diffuser unit is in place with an all-new look and repositioned silver trim. The exhaust outlets are almost identical in size and shape, but now sit a little lower, and protrude from the rear a bit, a completely different look from before. Competing designs. As you would expect when we talk about a new ride from Audi, it's going to be an all-out battle royal among the German 3 when it comes to competing models. As such, the new 5 rupees will go toe-to-toe with the BMW M4 above and the Mercedes-AMG C63 Coupe below in what will be a fight to the death for supremacy in looks, comfort, and performance. When it comes to the M4, BMW updated it for the 2018 model year, but it was a light update that some would even consider obnoxiously lazy. Be that as it may, the M4 is still an aggressive competitor that will give the 5 rupees a run for its money. Its hood isn't quite as muscular, but its front fascia makes up for that with the wide air dam and large corner air intakes. LED headlamps come standard, but if you want the hexagonal LED strips as shown off above, you'll need to check at least one option box. The side profile consists of two sharp body lines and flared wheel arches that make the car more menacing overall. Around back, the rear fascia mimics the front in design, with the exhaust outlets being integrated into the corners of the rear fascia. The rear taillights are also LED units. If you opt for the competition package, you'll get some exterior trim elements in black, which include the front grille surround, window trim, fender vent logo, the M4 logo, and the exhaust outlets. A pair of 20-inch, star-spoke 666mm styled wheels that are finished in black are also available as an option. When it comes to the Mercedes-AMG C63 Coupe, you'll find that it's more of a modern-day muscle car than anything. The headlights are worked into the front corners and feature a long LED strip that puts on emphasis on length. The hood gets a few distinct body lines similar to those found on the 5 Rupees but toned down a bit in comparison. The front fascia isn't quite as aggressive as that of the M4 or the 5 Rupees, featuring a wide opening that makes up both the air dam and the corner air intakes, but it's split by an insert that adds a significant amount of character. The side profile is defined by two very sharp lines below the waistline and the muscular rear haunches that reside well below the waistline. Around back, the C63 has a look all its own with a small but noticeable fin on the rear deck and somewhat large taillights. The rear fascia has a recessed area that serves as home for the rear reflectors and an air vent in each corner. Down below, a small diffuser makes all the difference as far as style goes, and looks great sitting between the dual exhaust outlet in each corner. All told, it's a spicy proposition that can certainly hold its own in a battle among German manufacturers. Exterior dimensions. Interior. You didn't expect Audi to hold back when it came to the interior, did you? Well, if you did, you might want to familiarize yourself with Audi and its RS line, because it pulled out all the stops when it comes to materials, design, style, and technology. For starters, you'll find healthy doses of carbon fiber on the door trim panels, center console, and dash face thanks to new inserts. Black leather upholstery is found just about everywhere else, including the armrests on the door panels, most of the center console, and the seats. All leather is double-stitched with a contrasting red thread to add it a little visual stimulation, and the center of the seats even get a hexagonal stitching pattern that oddly looks really good here. You might want to familiarize yourself with Audi and its RS line, because it pulled out all the stops when it comes to materials, design, style, and technology. Ahead of the driver sits a redesigned flat-bottom steering wheel with a rim that's wrapped in Alcantara with red stitching, a smaller hub, and redesigned spokes that are more recessed than before. The end result is a wheel that's not only comfortable but about as sporty as you can really get. The instrument cluster has been replaced by the latest iteration of Audi's virtual cockpit, which is able to display not only pertinent vehicle information but navigation and guidance information as well. Audi says that there is a comprehensive range of infotainment choices, but only mentions the option MMI Navigation Plus with MMI Touch system that you see here. It comes with Audi Connect, meaning a 4G LTE connection that is supplied via a flat-rate data package with free roaming throughout all of Europe. Phone connectivity is available via Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The touchpad controller on the center console is used to control the infotainment display and functions similar to that of a smartphone in that it allows you to zoom in and out, scroll, and enter characters. Other optional technology includes a head-up display and as many as 30 driver assistance features. Finally, down to the little details, there are RS emblems found on the seats, steering wheel, door sill trims, and the gear selector. With the RS design package, you'll also get red seat belts, and floor mats with the RS emblem. All told, it's a pretty comprehensive setup for a coupe, but as the range-topping model, would you really accept any less? Competing comfort and technology. When it comes to sport and functional interiors, BMW really has it nailed down with the M4 above. What you get is the same general design as that of the standard 4 Series, but you'll find healthy doses of leather upholstery everywhere, including the dash. All leather is held together by contrasting double stitching for added flair. The sports seats now have illuminated M4 logos in the seatbacks, while most of the interior trim pieces have been electroplated to give a blackish appearance throughout the cabin. The big news here is the infotainment system, which has the same OS as that found in the 5 Series. The professional navigation system is phenomenal, providing 3D maps on demand. Phone connectivity is made via Bluetooth, while an inductive charging pad will keep your device charging on the go. Finally, BMW's connected drive suite of services comes standard, as does a Wi-Fi hotspot. Options include a carbon interior pack that gives you an Alcantara-wrapped steering wheel and carbon fiber inlays throughout the cabin. The gear selector also gets a carbon fiber finish if you go for this package. Needless to say, it's a nice place to spend time, even when equipped as standard. When it comes to the Mercedes-AMG C63 Coupe, you'll find that the interior is uniquely inviting thanks to its sporty nature and design. To start things off, you get a flat-bottom steering wheel with an AMG logo on the bottom spoke. It also gets a dose of Alcantara at the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions, and a white stripe at 12 o'clock. It gets an AMG-specific instrument cluster with carbon-looking dials and a massive carbon fiber inlay that covers the entire face of the center console. The standard AMG seats are wrapped in Dinamica man-made leather and microfiber, the AMG Dynamic Select system, and an AMG-exclusive analog clock. If you opt for the performance seats, you'll get a lower seating position and a near-excessive amount of lateral support to keep you firmly planted during those extreme maneuvers. Other options include a touchpad controller for the infotainment system, a command hard drive navigation system with an 8.4-inch display, 3 years of navigation updates, AMG's head-up display, tune-in world radio, iHeartRadio, Wi-Fi hotspot, and voice control. Interior dimensions. Drivetrain. Almost every manufacturer under the sun has adopted the small engine, big turbos approach to meeting increasingly stringent emissions and fuel economy standards, and the new Audi 5 Rupees is no exception to this rule. That's right, there's no V8 stashed under the hood of this 5 Rupees. Instead, Audi went with what seems to be the German norm, a 2.9-liter, Biturbo, V6 that has an equal 450 horsepower on tap but delivers as much as 442.5 pound-feet of torque, an increase of 124.4 pound-feet over the last-gen model. And, to make it even better, that torque is available from as low as 1,900 revolutions per minute and remains maxed out until 5,000 revolutions per minute. Power is routed from the engine through an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic that has been sportily tuned. Power is then transmitted to all 4 wheels via Audi's Quattro AWD system with a 40-60 bias toward the rear to maintain an intense driving dynamic and optimal traction. A rear sport differential can be had if you're willing to check an extra option box at the time of ordering. Audi went with what seems to be the German norm, a 2.9-liter, Biturbo, V6 that has an equal 450 horsepower on tap but delivers as much as 442.5 pound-feet of torque, an increase of 124.4 pound-feet over the last-gen model. So, how did Audi manage to squeeze the same amount of horsepower and an insanely large amount of torque out of a 2.9-liter V6? Well, things start off with the 2 turbos which have been positioned in the V, between the cylinder banks. This cuts down on the time it takes the air to get from the turbos to the intake manifold. The engine uses a B-cycle combustion process, and central direct injection, 2 things that Audi says represents a new level of efficiency among the RS models. The compression stroke for each cylinder has also been shortened, ultimately creating a high compression ratio. The power stroke is normal in most regards, but longer than the compression stroke, which should help increase efficiency as well. On the NEDC cycle, the new 5 Rupees consumes 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers, which translates to about 27 mpg here in the US. It should also be noted that the new 5 Rupees weighs in at 3,648 pounds, which represents a weight loss of 132 pounds over the last-gen model. All told, the 5 Rupees is good for a 3.9-second sprint to 62 miles per hour and a top speed of 174 miles per hour. That's the same top speed as the outgoing model, but an improvement of 0.3 seconds for the sprint to 62 miles per hour. As they say, you can't always have your cake and eat it too, so no 200 miles per hour top speeds here, but you'll probably get to that 174 miles per hour a bit quicker thanks to the drop in weight and that new 2.9-liter that Audi says was developed from the ground up. Competing performance. So exterior looks and interior amenities are nice and all, but I know why you're really here. You want to see how the new 5 rupees stacks up against the competition on the performance front. And, who could blame you? With competition this stiff, you really have to look at the things that really matter. When it comes to the BMW M4, you'll get a 3.0-liter inline-6 that delivers a cool 431 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. A 6-speed manual transmission is offered as standard equipment, but you can opt for a 7-speed, dual-clutch transmission if you prefer not to row your own. Of course, if 431 ponies aren't enough for you, you could opt for the competition package. It gives you a special EQ tune that ups output to 450 horsepower while keeping fuel economy at a respectable 32.1 mpg. All told, the standard M4 can hit the 60 mph sprint in 4.1 seconds with a manual transmission or 3.9 seconds with that DCT transmission. Top speed, on the other hand, is limited to 155 mph, so the 5 rupees will take you, in the long run, all day long. Opting for the Mercedes C63 Coupe will get you the most out of the three, with the 4.0-liter V8 delivering a total output of 469 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Maximum horsepower becomes available at 5,500 revolutions per minute, but all that torque? You can get that pavement mulching goodness at just 1,750 revolutions per minute. Shifting duties for this beast of an engine is handled by AMG SpeedShift, 7-speed automatic, so don't be expecting to row your own in the Merc. On the plus side, there are 4 different drive modes that help change shifting patterns as you see fit. Selections include Comfort, Individual, Sport Plus, and Race. Individual, by the way, is used when you want to set up your own profile outside of the AMG presets available with the other driving modes. Even with all of that extra power over the competition, you'll still find that the C63 breaks even, needing 3.9 seconds to hit the 62 mph sprint. It also tops out at an electronically limited 155 mph. Again, the Audi 5 rupees wins in the long run. Drivetrain specifications. Suspension. Supporting the body and keeping the ride smooth is an updated suspension system that includes a revised 5-link setup up front and a new 5-link system in the rear. For those of you who were sleeping in 2015, the old 5 rupees used a trapezoidal link suspension, which didn't cripple the 5 rupees by any means but doesn't offer the same dynamic afforded by a 5-link system. The RS Sport suspension system as a whole drops the ride height of the RS% by about an inch compared to the standard A5. Options include the RS Sport suspension with dynamic ride control, think adjustable suspension via drive modes, ceramic brakes, and dynamic steering with RS-specific tuning. These options are available via Audi Sport and will drive up the price a bit but are well worth it. If you don't opt for any of the extras, you'll still get the Audi Drive Select system with its various drive modes, you just won't get quite as much adjustability when it comes to overall ride quality. Pricing. The chances are that we won't get the new 5 rupees here in the US, but it is set to hit dealerships in Europe in June of 2017 and will be priced from €80,900. That computes to about $87,405 at current exchange rates and accounts for a premium of $46,566 over the standard A5 and $19,880 over the Audi S5. US pricing. The Audi 5 rupees is on sale now and starts out at $69,900, about $18,000 less than its European equivalent. That price includes the base model and also excludes things like taxes, titling, and dealer prices. Of course, you may not find one at this price as dealers are responsible for setting their own pricing and a model like this is bound to take at least a small uptick in the price department. Competitive pricing. So, we know that the 5 rupees will start out at €80,900, about $87,400, but is that really competitive with the M4 and C63? Well, the M4 starts out in Germany at €76,700 while the C63 starts out at €76,398. That computes to $82,867 and $82,541, respectively. So, as you can see, pricing is still fairly competitive, but the 5 rupees is the newest of the bunch and is the most expensive by about $5,000 or so. It's not too bad of a premium to pay for a fresh design and new engine, but we'll leave that decision up to you. Other options. Lexus RCF. While it's not typically a car you would compare to the Audi 5 rupees or the BMW M4, for that matter, the LCF is indeed a competitor in this segment. The exterior falls into that love it or hate it category, with Lexus' massive spindle grille up front to go with an aggressive hood and stout body lines that demand respect. It's gorgeous and comfortable on the inside but doesn't offer quite as much support for front passengers. And, when compared to models from Mercedes, BMW, or Audi, the interior actually looks quite dated for a car that made it into dealerships for the 2015 model year. Under the hood, it rocks a 5.0-liter, naturally aspirated, V8 that delivers 467 horsepower and 389 pound-feet of torque. That horsepower figure is higher than what the M4 or 5 rupees offer, but the RCF is actually slower to the 60 mph benchmark, making the sprint in 4.4 seconds. It can run the quarter mile in 12.5 seconds, though, and it tops out at 170 mph, which puts it just below the 5 rupees in the long haul, but well above the Merc and Bimmer in this segment. Then again, the RCF starts at just $62,400 here in the States, so it's really quite a bargain compared to the other 3 models we've discussed here. It's not quite as fast, but you'll have an extra $20,000 to make the modifications need to decimate anything else in this niche if you really wish to do so. Read our full review on the Lexus RCF here. Cadillac ATS V Coupe. A Cadillac? Yes, I'm throwing a Cadillac into the mix. But this isn't your grandmother's Caddy, and truth be told, it's actually faster than anything we've spoken of so far today. First off, the exterior package is aggressive in all the right ways and muscular like an American sports car should be. The interior is sporty but works hard at defining American styling, with the infotainment display recessed into the center stack and the center console blending into the dash like it's all one piece. The seats are as supportive as necessary and comfortable, both of which are very important when you consider what lurks under the hood. The engine in question is a 3.6-liter V6 that delivers 455 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque. And that's enough power to get the ATS V to 60 mph in 3.9 seconds on the way to a top speed of more than 185 mph, a figure that Audi, Mercedes, or BMW can't beat with their competitors in this segment. Shifting duties are handled by 6-speed manual transmission or an 8-speed automatic. As of the time of this writing, the ATS V starts out at $62,895, putting it well below offerings from the German trio. Read our full review on the Cadillac ATS V Coupe here. Conclusion. Needless to say, Audi isn't playing around in the looks, comfort, or performance department. But, when you have a whole handful of high-performance coupes ripe for the taking, it makes it difficult to choose just which one you want to greet you every morning when you step into your garage. The new 5 rupees is definitely a looker, and it has the performance credentials to make any man happy, but it's hard to look past models like the M4, C63, or Event, the significantly cheaper CTS V Coupe. In the end, your best bet is to test drive each one and see which suits your taste and driving style the best. You'll surely find one that fits you like a glove. If you're planning on going for the 5 rupees, you'll have to wait until June of 2017 when it hits dealers, but it sure looks like it's a model worth waiting for. What do you think, though? Let us know in the comment section below. Love it. New engine with higher output, wider track, should have aggressive front end. Leave it priced too high for my taste. Little information to go by. Update history. Updated October 24, 2016, the upcoming Audi 5 rupees was caught testing around Nürburgring. Check the video to hear RS5's new turbocharged V6 engine in action around the ring. Update September 19, 2016, the next-gen 5 rupees was caught testing in the wild again. And, while it hasn't shed any camo, it is now sporting the correct front fascia and fenders. Check out our review below for all of the details. Update June 13, 2016. Now that Audi dropped the new A5 coupe, we decided to create a rendering for the upcoming 5 rupees. Let us know in the comments section below what do you think about it.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.